And we are back. Sorry and apologies for any technical problems there. But yes, we are back with the first race of the Techno Plus fleet. And we are down to the final 30 seconds.
Certainly a good time to get straight back in to the action. You have not missed anything. And we still have 20 seconds to go until the first start. Up here we are having the Techno Pluses, the lime green sails. That is the 8.5 meter squared sails in the men's class at the minute. We have from Japan leading Daigo Komatsu from Japan, and in second place we have Navin Singat from Thailand, and in third overall at the minute Yuto Aoki from Japan. But not much separating all of these riders so far, and we are straight into that start. How's it looking there, Kieran?
That's right, they are off. We have some great pumping going. There's been some early leads from the pin end and from that starboard end, and it has been a common theme of the week to have a little bit of line sag. That is why we are seeing some early leads from both ends there, with a few competitors now tacking out to try and clear their air.
Looks like definitely down that bottom end we do have some leaders. That's the good thing about being at either end of the start. You know, you can gauge that line a little bit better. Kieran, how can you gauge that line a little bit better with either being right next to the committee boat or right next to the pin?
Well, if you're right next to those ends, you know the line finishes right there. So as close as you are to those ends, you know you are the time and distance away from that. But when you're in the middle, that is a long distance to really try and judge that line, to be honest. And especially when the land is so far in the distance, it can become really difficult to get that transit.
Very hard indeed, because remember, that start line is an imaginary line at the end of the day. It is only marked by the water that these riders are windsurfing over. That line is imaginary, so there is many things that all these riders have to think about. You know, of course, it is the mental side of it, you know, getting into those gusts, getting into those shifts, especially at this type of location here. However, as we can see at the minute from that rider in the middle, it is also about the physical, really working that equipment as hard as possible, gaining speed, gaining upwind angle. But here, I think these riders are pumping all for that speed to get up on that rail.
Certainly are, Rafferty, and that is a great example right there of Greece coming across on port. Now today it is onshore wind, so it will not be that variable in the conditions. So it is less about getting your head out the boat and more about just getting that equipment going as fast as possible.
He's certainly got a clean lane here, though, really spaced out from the rest of the pack here. Could that be a good thing? Could that be a bad thing? We will all find out at the top mark. But as we said, this is quite possibly the last day of the championship, isn't it?
It certainly is. And yes, this is race 1 of 3 scheduled for the Techno Plus fleet. And look, that is Thailand 20, currently in second position. Now, we had an interview with him today. He is ready for the day.
He is certainly ready, and he is ready to push. He currently lies in second place overall. So, you know, he does have potential to keep gaining, but he is 8 points away from that first place, but he is 12 points gained it on that third place, so he's sitting quite comfortable at the minute.
Sitting quite comfortably, but with those 3 races planned, anything can change, so consistency will be key today, and especially in these conditions where if you have a bad start and it is not very shifty, it can be quite tricky to work your way through the fleet.
Can be very tricky indeed, especially in these moments where it is quite light winds out there. I mean, we're looking out there and it's windy, but one thing that's really important is that it's quite gusty, isn't it?
It can be quite gusty, especially when these clouds are coming over. There can be some puffs coming through the clouds, so they will be keeping their eyes out to try and search for those gusts. But at the end of the day, they will be having to work incredibly hard. But look at this! Look at these shots, everyone, and
we are back. Yeah, look at those shots. Exactly.
At those shots.
It wasn't the black. This is what. Oh, okay. A little bit in and out, but I mean, this location is absolutely great. We James, you're back. Oh.
Apologies for the shots dropping out, ladies and gentlemen. As we know, this is live. There can be some technical problems, but we will do our best to get you some sweet action from the course. Like that, look at those angles. You can see there's been some big advantages for the sailors who went towards the left. Maybe they just got out in their own clean wind. Maybe they've just been working harder. Maybe this is their favourite conditions. Who knows? But at the moment, we are seeing some real racing going down.
Real racing indeed, as both of, well, the Japan 155 currently on our screens. That is Yoshida Sakoto from Japan. He currently is lying in 6th place overall. Only 1 point separates him with 6th and 7th place, so he is in that pressure zone. 7 points to that 5th place as we move over to Italy 299. It is that 299. That is Edoardo Festanti from Italy, also cruising out on his first upwind.
Yeah, having an absolutely beautiful race there. Currently in the top 15, so if he can maintain onto this maybe top spot, we have some big range going on at the moment though. There's a big split in the fleet. We had lots of people go all the way to the left and lots of people go all the way to the right, which is quite common when you have this onshore wind. Generally staying up in the middle, there's a little bit less wind, so the competitors try and split the size of the course, and almost it's a gambling game by then. Who can go the best?
And there is that upwind mark. Looking at that perfectly, who has made the ley line. It is looking very close from these top 3 riders. I think the one furthest left of our screens, Kieran, do you think he's going to make it?
It's looking a bit tough at the moment, but he is leading his way, so there might be a chance for him to double tack and get around. And again, yesterday we did have some tide coming into play towards the end, so maybe there is a little bit of tide that they have to think about today.
It looked like that rider on the left was really trying to get there, but now I think he's just gone for that speed yet again, accepting that he is going to have to double tack, and it's looking like the 2nd and 3rd riders here now on our screens is also going to have to double tack, but maybe not. This rider on our screens, if he makes this ley line, it is looking extremely close, isn't it? Meters separating
That is right. You can see them pushing so hard there, and that is Singapore 29 on your screen at the moment, followed by Thailand 20 on the bottom, and you can just see they are leaning away, leaning off that rig, trying to get as much drive through that board, get that board flying. And there we have Thailand 20 tacking onto the port hand ley line, and wow, what a lead over those people who went to the left. So there has been a big advantage on that right hand side of the course.
Certainly was the right way to go, and here we coming, a little bit of coming together, but Narvin makes it through. Remember, Narvin Thailand here doesn't have right of way because he is on port. Here is going to be a really big moment within this race. Who is going to round that top mark in first place? But it is looking comfortable from Narvin, all the way from Thailand, rounding at that top mark of his first race here on day number 5 of the 2025 Techno293 World Championships.
That is right, and you see the rest of the fleet following through at the moment. Now, Thailand 20 does have a bit of a lead. If we see the leader in the Japanese, he will be thinking, maybe I can make some position gains, maybe I can overtake on that first position. But at the moment, they are coming along on that first reach, which they will be trying to dig in, getting that board planing. It is all about getting that board going, getting that speed on the equipment.
It is all about that speed now, moving that Mars track back and starting to plane.
That is right, and look at that, you can see them working hard. Maybe a bit of a roll from the French sailor there, followed by some more Japanese sailors. Now, there is a big contingency of Japanese in this Techno293 Plus men's fleet. They have made the trip all the way over, but they are all loving it. We've been talking to them throughout the morning, and everyone is so happy to be here.
So happy to be here indeed. We were lucky enough to talk with one of the Japanese riders who was leading, and he brought his family all the way across. Man of few words, but he was absolutely loving it. Loving the location, locked into the game, and just having a great holiday here in Wales with his family. It was really great to see.
Yeah, look at this. This is amazing. We have a bit of a hold up. Now, if you're coming around on that port, trying to sneak around on the inside, you do not have the right of way, but it looks like Hungary has snuck through there. That was a great play.
Great plays all round at this upwind mark. It is game on, absolute, well, To the naked eye, let's say it looks like a mess, but this is just everything extremely well calculated. Everyone is pushing to the max, like going for gaps that almost don't exist sometimes. Centimeters there, board lengths there. That can mean the difference between winning and losing.
That's right. They are judging that time and distance so well at the moment. And here we have towards the back end of the fleet making their way around mark number 1. Now they will be going on to one reach followed by the outer loop, which is coming on your screen now.
And there it is. So we've already had that upwind. Remember, they have to go diagonal as that is the fastest point upwind. They are now on their reach. That little leg from mark number 1 all the way to 2, that is the fastest point, the reaching. They then make their way downwind towards that gate. They can decide which way they go depending on wind conditions and tactics. Back up to mark 2, downwind and through to the finish.
Certainly is, and now it looks like it's very marginal conditions for them, so they will have to be working as hard as they can to keep that board planing. Now it does seem like if the leaders can keep that board planing all the way downwind, there will be a really big advantage by the end.
Huge advantages by the end, as we're seeing that group just out the back catching a nice gust, but also working really hard that sail to get up onto the plane.
And what gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous views we have right now. Thanks again to the drone pilots for getting this up in the air. This is amazing quality coming at you live from the Techno293 World Championships.
Almost looks absolutely seamless, but do know that a lot goes into this footage out here. It's a huge amount of work, but work that we are extremely grateful for as we are managing to see all this insane action out here for the 5th day of the Techno293 World Championships. Currently on our screens, we have the Techno293 Plus fleet, which is the open. It's the under 19s and also the open ages. So people from all around the world of all ages are racing it out here.
Yeah, and back to the race course. It looks like we have some people planing from above at the moment, and the two below are scooping. Now, the people planing from above, they will be tracking them down so much quick, and it just seems like they have dropped out that gust there. So that is an indication it is quite gusty out there still. So they will be needing to keep their head outside of the board and searching and hunting for those gusts.
Really searching throughout this race, trying to find that gust, trying to find that speed and overall shorter distance throughout the course. This is almost like a Formula 1 track out on the water, but with added elements. We have the wind, which is our engines. Engines of the wind then goes into the sail, directed through the body and into the board. So it's not only tactics, it's also all the physical efforts that these athletes have to go into.
Certainly is, and just look at these views. They are on their first downwind leg, and it looks like the leaders are heading down towards the first-hand gate, where a very important decision is to be made. Do we go left or do we go right? Now, they will be thinking back to that first upwind. It did seem like there was a big advantage going right, but these are changeable conditions. They will have to be switched on to just keep deciding which way is the best way to go.
Which way is the best way to go, but our leader here is showing us exactly which way to go, as he certainly has a good amount of lead towards the rest of the pack here. There is that gate that we saw on the course, the downwind gate. From here they can decide which way they go. Remember, making their way upwind, they will be going diagonally, as that is the fastest way to go towards the wind. Look at this though, another amazing day here in North Wales, Pwllheli in the UK. Few clouds in the sky, nice and giving us some shade from the sun, but there's still blue skies all around.
Exactly, and those clouds will be adding to the gusty conditions at the moment. The wind is going to be wanting to go around them, so maybe there's some wind on the left, maybe there's some wind on the right, and it looks like the first competitor has decided to go around that left-hand gate. We're trying to get eyes on that at the moment. Is that Thailand 20 currently in second place? I think it is Navin from Thailand. What a man. He is going around, and he is in a very commanding position. It looks like he is wanting to go around to the left, just get out of the way of everyone else coming downwind. They will be blocking the wind. They just want to separate, get his air clear and just get locked into that fast mode as quick as he can.
Very interesting note there that was the second place actually decided to split from the pack. I think it is on our screens here. Japanese 1016 deciding to split from the pack there.
That is right, and then the third competitor is round the other gate again, so a little bit of split thinking from the fleet, but who knows, it was right-hand side was dominant on the first lap, but they are in a different part of the race course, so it could be different over here.
Could be different indeed. And I mean, if we speculate, you know, I saw a previous screen there. Maybe on that right side there was a gust coming down, but rounding that mark, a little bit of a sketchy mark rounding though, but getting as close to that mark as physically possible, meaning that he can get clean in and overall reduce his distance on that course. But he's straight back up onto the rail, isn't he?
That is right. That is one of the key skills. They're going from downwind mode with the daggerboard up, reducing that drag, to getting that daggerboard down as quick as they can, getting back into that upwind mode, maybe getting some feet in the foot straps where they have a lot more control, and then they can just lift that rail up and get back into that upwind mode and start getting their head out and seeing where those gusts are.
Jonathan Chan now rounding his mark as well. He's decided to go out onto the right side of the course. Will that be the right way? I guess we'll find out. But again, doing very well, getting that master upright. And there we go, back to the course. They are now on their second upwind.
Yeah, right, they are. And then we can see, I mean, it's so variable at the moment. We have some people planing, we have some people scooping, but they're just being athletic all over the place.
It is an awesome place. Just looking outside of our booth at the minute, there's loads of people on the beach, you know, doing a bit of fishing and looking around the rocks, but also spectating the World Championships that is out here. The pinnacle event for a lot of these riders, for the vast majority of these riders. This is the pinnacle event that they've been working so hard to lead up to, and a pinnacle event in the whole sport of windsurf, really.
And that is right, and you know, all that hard work throughout the year will pay its dividends at the end of the week, but at the end of the day, they are having such a good time, but they will be thinking about those medals, and they will be trying to snag some silverware.
Silverware is something that, Kieran, you are very familiar with, aren't you? Can you please let us know your achievements within the Techno293 class? Go on.
That is right. I was quite fortunate. I had a great Techno career. Managed to win the World Championships, Under 15 World Championships in 2009, I believe, in Weymouth, of all places, on home soil. And then once again in the Under 17 class a few years later in San Francisco in the USA. What memories, honestly.
Memories that I'm sure is going to stay with you your whole life. I was also racing nothing to the level that Kieran was doing. I was probably around the 10th, 20th spots in the Techno class, but still, you know, still absolutely loving it, which all these riders out here will be absolutely loving windsurfing. That's one of the amazing things out here in this class, is that, you know, the core reason why everyone is here, you know, they just love windsurfing, and why we're here as well. No?
Exactly, that's exactly why we're here. We are frothing off of this. In whatever wind, rain or shine, light winds, heavy wind, you can still windsurf, especially on this class, the Techno293. It is very all-round. It is sailable from anything from 4 knots all the way to 40 knots.
So, Narvin on our screens at the minute, Thailand 20. Kieran, as a past multiple world champion, Narvin is actually in second place overall. What will he be thinking right now? He's getting close to the end of the competition.
That is right. I mean, of course, second place is amazing at the moment, but it is not too far from first place. I believe 6 points currently. So, if he can snag a few firsts in here and maybe his leader makes a mistake or two, he will be thinking, I can come away with that gold medal. But at the moment, he is just going to be wanting to stay in a commanding position. But it does look like the athletes who went to the right-hand side, they are coming back in a lot of wind. That you can tell by just how they're leaning off the equipment and how much their board is flying.
They are really flying. Narvin really extending his body out from that equipment, really maximizing the amount of power in that sail. But if we keep our eyes peeled on the left of our screens in a minute, it is Japan coming through. Remember, he did round that mark, spitting the pack, going off onto the right hand side. it's looking like possibly he could be nabbing that first place.
It really does. It seems like the story of the first lap has played out again. That right-hand side has come out dominant. Maybe there's a bit of wind over there. Maybe there's a little bit of a shift. Either way, he has worked really hard to get in that position, and it looks like his lead is quite extensive by this point.
A very extensive lead. Very much crossed Narvin, who was at the lead at that bottom gate, but now it is Takehito Katayama from Japan now leading this first race. And what a race he is having here. You know, he is railing the whole way. It's very marginal conditions out here, but he is showing us exactly how to maintain that railing mode, maintain that speed, and there is that upwind mark.
That is right, and here are some of the rest of the competitors coming round at the moment towards the upwind mark. And you can just see how varied and how much distance there is between the left and right.
It's looking pretty good though, very good indeed. And there we have the upwind mark. There's that upwind mark that we are seeing Takehito rounding up now in that first place position. But it's looking amazing out there. A real race course on the water.
Yeah, it really is. And it seems like there's some of the 7-8 fleet coming round now. So there's a lot of other competitors to work and weave your way through. And of course, the Techno Plus, they are on a bigger sail, so they probably have a better chance to stay planing.
Better chance indeed, but you know, they still have to work it all the way to the very end of this race. And as we said, it's still quite light out there. I mean, probably around the, let's say 10 knots.
Around the 10 knots. Yeah, it seems to be around the 10 knots. The Techno Plus are just getting themselves onto the plane, especially if they're working quite hard. And, I mean, what great views at the moment.
It's looking really, really nice views out there on the water with the mountains in the background.
It is, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous with the beautiful views there. And give a lot of love to the people in the live stream chat at the moment. Please drop where you're from, who you are wishing to win, and just any questions you have, just send them in and we will do our best to answer them.
But it's great to see some support for Soren from France. Hopefully we will be seeing him soon. Also Narvin from Thailand. Thailand 20. We've seen a lot of Narvin so far, and he has been doing absolutely amazing. Really at the top of this race currently going on at the minute. He was leading earlier on, just lost out into that. He's currently in second place within this race at the minute. Will he have a really good downwind and nab back that first place? We will find out. But anyway, to be in that top place position is a huge achievement in itself.
It certainly is. And yes, he is currently in second place when we saw him go around that top mark, but he was ahead of the current leader, so he will be making some points back on him. That will make for exciting final 2 races in this fleet.
It's going to be really exciting all throughout today, so make sure you share the links, make sure you share this live show to all your friends on all your social media, to all the fans out here, to make sure that everyone can witness this awesome action here at the World Championships. It's great to see, it's great to have this show on, witnessing this racing, so make sure, again, you share it to everyone and get everyone involved in watching.
Yeah, look at these views. We can just see how the competitors are making their way downwind. I think we just panned out from the leader of this race, Japan 1016, working their way down through the 7-8 fleet. Like we said, there's now a few more obstacles to work their way around, but he is on the final stretch of the downwind. He will make a right-hand turn towards the finish, where he will pick up his first of the day.
Will he be able to snatch it? I think he will. He's really extended his lead on here at the minute. On our screens, it is the lime green sail, bottom right of our screens. That is our current race leader. And in second place is further back, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Or hard to tell right now, but what I could say, there is the 7-8 boys fleet who have come round on their outer loop as well.
So yes, this is the great thing about this trapezoid course, is that we can have two fleets racing at the same time, which is exactly what is going on here. The 7/8s are racing, and I think it is actually our first place within the Techno Plus, rounding at that mark now. Could it be possibly? We'll figure it out soon. It is indeed.
That is indeed, yes. We can see them bearing away towards that finish, building up that speed, maybe a few final pumps just to cement that first place, and that is Japan 1016. That is Takedo Katayama, who has just snagged his first win of the day.
First win of the day. He did come into day number 5 in 5th place, so having a bullet to his scorecard will be pushing him up for sure. And in 2nd place from Thailand, it is Narvin. Thailand 20. Narvin Singart in that 2nd place position. A great race from those top 2, and our 3rd place coming through now too.
That is right, and we have our 3rd place coming through right now. Italy 347. Maybe a little bit further down the fleet, perhaps. We are searching for them right now. Unable to see, but followed by some more Japanese sailors coming through the finish line. A really outstanding first race. Now again, back to Navin. He is currently 2nd overall, and he just snagged a 2nd place. And there is no sign of the current leader who is crossing the finish line just yet. So maybe there'll be some points changes. We'll have to see how the discards work out by the end of the day.
We can see a big difference in speeds though, from before they round that mark and after they round that mark. Kieran, can you tell us a little bit why we have these differences in speeds?
Yeah, that is right. As you can see, the people on the downwind, they are pointing quite low, and if you go directly down with the wind, it is really hard to gain that speed. Not as fast as we see this sailor coming across towards the finish right now. They are going across the wind. This is called a reach, and you just seem to get a little bit more wind, and also they're getting some clean air out from the rest of the competitors, and they are able to hook in, maybe get in the foot straps and start pumping that board onto the fin and just pick up speed and start planing.
Yes, I mean, even on that downwind though, if we cast our eyes in the middle of that group, we do have some going extremely fast. They've managed to catch that gust, and as you said, bring up that angle and go a lot faster, as we're seeing the next Techno Plus rider planing through that start line. But the 7/8s at the minute, they aren't quite planing at the minute. They're not railing at the minute. They're in that displacement mode, just gliding over the water. But as soon as they can get planing, that will mean speed, that will mean angle, and that will mean faster, finishing the course faster.
Certainly, and of course the 7/8s are on a smaller sail and I believe a smaller fin, so that is less power in the engine and less power on the board, so it will be a bit harder for them to get going on that rail. So maybe slightly different even racing tactics and strategy between the two fleets right now.
Very different indeed. As you said, for this Techno equipment, we do have different sizes of equipment for each of the age groups. So as we see here, the lime green sails, though that is of the Techno Plus, the open class, and under 19s, that is an 8.5 meter squared sail. The boards stay consistent throughout the class, whether you're 13 years of age or all the way up to middle age, let's say. And also, but also it's the fins that change. The fins are slightly bigger on the 8.5 for the Techno Plus, and for the under 17s on the 7.8 and 6.8s, they have slightly smaller fin, which means a little bit less power, so it's more handleable for these younger riders.
Yeah, certainly. And we have the rest of the fleet coming through on the finish line. Now, unless we haven't seen him, we still no sign of the current leader. That could be a really big play of the day if that is so. And there is our first 7-8 leader potentially coming through the finish line as well.
All starting to come towards that finish though, finishing their first race here on day number 5 of the 2025 Techno293 World Championships. And remember, the Techno Plus fleet and also the 7/8s only have 3 more races to complete the championship, and this is one of the 3, so only 2 remain.
Only 2 remaining. We'll be back with you shortly for another race, so stay tuned.